Hi, boys and girls. Today I'm doing modeled reading, but I've got a special friend. This is Slinky. And the reason I have my pet puppy reading with us today is because our story is about a puppy. This story is called Puppy at the Door. Now remember, Mrs. Agostino is modeling reading to you, so it means I'm showing you two things: what good reading sounds like and how I can use my reading strategies when I read. Let's start. Puppy at the Door. Grace and Amy wanted a pet. Oh, can you see that comma there? It tells us to stop. Let me try that again. Grace and Amy wanted a pet, but they lived in the city near a busy road. That doesn't make sense. Near a busy road. Do you remember what these are called? They're our speech marks. That means someone is talking. It's not safe for a pet here, their mother told them. It could get run over. One wet day, Amy heard a little noise outside. Something was scratching at the front door. She looked out the window. There's someone talking again. There's a puppy on the doormat. Did your voice go up too when you saw that exclamation mark? Amy said, It's all wet. Oh, poor puppy's all wet. Grace and Amy rushed. Grace and Amy rushed to the front door. The puppy was shivering. The puppy was shivering, and Grace patted him. There's our speech mark. Someone's talking. You poor little thing, she said. You are very scared, aren't you? Can you see our question mark there? She's asking us a question. She's actually talking to the puppy. She says, You are very scared, aren't you? Dad came to the door and he said, Bring the puppy inside, he said. I'll dry him with this towel, said Mum. Then he can have some warm milk. I'll find an old rug for him, said Grace. Soon the puppy was feeling better. He wanted to go back outside. We can't let him out, said Mum. We don't have a lolly for him. That doesn't make sense. We don't have a what does a dog have? Oh, we don't have a lead for him. There's a one number. That doesn't make sense. Now, P and H, what other sound can they make? On their own, they make a P and a H sound. But if I think of the word elephant, I know that elephant has PH and it makes a F sound in the middle. Let me try that. There's a one. That doesn't make sense. A number. A phone number. That makes sense. Now, sometimes it's a little bit tricky because we can't sound out every word, but I have to think about the story and what makes sense. There's a phone number on his collar, like be a star, R. Collar. A collar is the part that's around the puppy's neck. There's a phone number on his collar. Did you see how I reread to make sure it makes sense in my brain? Said Dad. We must ring his owner. Come on, Grace. You make the call. I wonder if you'd be a bit nervous to make that phone call. Amy held the puppy. Oh, I wish we could keep him, she said. I'd want to keep that puppy too, but it belongs to somebody, so they've got to check. Now, Grace rang the number. Then a voice on the phone said, "Hello, this is Mrs. Hope." "Hello," said Grace. "Have you lost your puppy?" Oh. Can you see the speech marks? Mrs. Hope is talking. "Yes," said Mrs. Hope. "Have you found him?" Pal disappeared yesterday. Yesterday. Pal disappeared yesterday. Pal must be the puppy's name. I didn't think I would ever get him back. Remember your big voice when you see that exclamation mark. Grace told Mrs. Hope where they lived. I'll come and get him now, said Mrs. Hope. Grace and Amy kept patting Pal while they wait. Why? That doesn't look like why. Let me try that again. Grace and Amy kept patting Pal while they waited. That makes sense. Soon a car stopped outside their house. Mrs. Hope came up the path and Mum went to meet her. The little puppy jumped up and down when Mrs. Hope came to the door. I don't know why I used my big voice there. There's no exclamation mark. Let me try that again. The little puppy jumped up and down when Mrs. Hope came to the door. Mrs. Hope was so That's like E as in sea, like the ocean. Mrs. Hope was so pleased to see him. Someone must have opened, and then what does the ED sound make? Opened my gate, she said, and Pal ran out. He needs to go to puppy school. Puppy school? Wow, said Amy. Yes, said Grace. At puppy school, they could teach him not to run away. The next day, Mrs. Hope rang the girl. Was there one girl? Let me look closer. I forgot that S on the end. The next day, Mrs. Hope rang the girls. Amy picked up the phone. Hello, said Mrs. Hope. I'm taking Pal to puppy school on Saturday. Would you and your parents like to come and help me? She's asking a question. I wonder what Amy's going to say. I can see an exclamation mark coming up. Yes, please, said Amy. It was fun watching the puppies. Sometimes Pal jumped up at Mrs. Hope when he should have been walking. Sometimes he rolled over, but it was only his first lesson. After the lesson, they all went back to Mrs. Hope's place, and the children played with Pal. Grace said to Amy, "This is almost as good." Ooh, that doesn't look like almost. This is nearly as good as having our own puppy. The end.